Hello, and welcome to Aesop Grimm's Chronicles, where the emphasis is on immersion and storytelling. While some games contain mature themes or language, you can expect clean commentary from me as a narrator. Additionally, I will provide a content summary in the intro video for each chronicled series, so no one is blindsided or surprised. Let's play a story. Alright, welcome everybody, Aesop Grimm here, and this is the intro to a chronicle for the XCOM 2 War of the Chosen Tactical Legacy Pack, as you can see from the graphic I have up. So first things first, content warning. According to the ESRB rating for XCOM 2, it's rated teen for blood, use of tobacco, and violence. And the rating summary reads like this. This is a strategy game in which players attempt to save Earth from an alien invasion. From a three-quarters top-down perspective, players manage resources, engage in combat missions, rescue characters, and terrorize alien installations. Players use rifles, machine guns, pistols, and grenades to kill enemies, e.g. human, insect, beast-like characters, in turn-based combat. Attack moves occur in brief cutscenes that depict characters getting shot or wounded or killed by explosions. Splashes and pools of yellow and red blood sometimes appear when characters are injured or killed. During the course of the game, players can customize soldiers with accessories, including lit cigarettes and cigars. Okay, and then there's mods that you can bring in too, and I will be using mods. I don't know if that will take place or if they'll show up, I should say, in the Tactical Legacy games I'm going to be playing here for this Chronicle. I'm not really sure if they do or don't, but what I can tell you is that the mods I use are not, adult-oriented. There are some adult-oriented mods you can get out there. Now, I do have civilian clothing mods that, particularly for the female characters, have a whole slew of options that you can take, and so you can dress the characters up and make them look what I might call, fancy or spiffy. And so, with the guy character, for example, I've got one character that looks, he's pretty sharp looking. He's got some cool looking hair that came in from a mod that I used. He's got a dress shirt on with I think a vest over it, like what do you call it? It's not just any vest. It's the kind that you wear with a suit jacket. And so he ends up looking pretty blinged out. He's got nice pinstriped brown pants and dress shoes that go with it. Well, for the females, you can kind of do the same thing, and you can wear, they're girly coats. They kind of, the half-cut coat, they're sort of form-fitting. You can have some bare midriff stuff. You can have some dress shirts, or maybe not dress blouses, but things that you would wear. What would you? It's like not semi-formal. It's office, but they'll be buttoned and they'll be pretty form-fitting, and then like the two bottom buttons will be undone so that you see your belly button or something like that. So that's the extent of where these mods go for me. I don't have any mods that alter how much violence there is, or do anything really any more sketchy than the bare midriff that I mentioned. So there's, your briefing. Now I guess I have a cinematic camera mod that will sort of enhance the over-the-shoulder shots that you see. I also have a physics mod. I do have a physics mod where when you shoot an alien and it's killed, the impact is harder of that bullet hitting the body, and the dead alien will kind of fly back a little bit. It's nothing too over the top. It actually looks more realistic, in my opinion, but more believable, I should say. And then that's about it. That's all I can think to really give you guys the heads up on. As far as any alterations to the game itself that the mods I have make, nothing really more than that to say. So I think that sums it up for the content briefing. My goal's been met. I believe that's enough information for people to not get sideswiped or blindsided or whatever, especially those of you that are busy doing umpteen million chores as the kids play around in the living room and you have the computer playing in the background, or they're on their devices or anything like that. Moving on to the purpose of this playthrough then, and this is kind of short and sweet, but we are, remember we played XCOM 1, and I got that up on the channel to provide the backstory for XCOM 2. Well, what the Tactical Legacy expansion does is it sort of fills in the gap a little bit between XCOM 1 and XCOM 2. Remember in XCOM 1, the aliens won. That's how XCOM 2 opens up. XCOM 2 opens up with the assumption that the aliens won. And this is now 15 to 20 years down the road. Okay. And remember in XCOM 1, the aliens found where our base was and infiltrated us with the help of Exalt. And the entire base was lost, and we were going to have to role play we're just going to have to sort of assume that Bradford was able to find his way out of there, and a few other XCOM people. Well, what Tactical Legacy does is it goes over, it's designed in a way where Bradford is sort of sitting around telling war stories to people, and he's remembering the days immediately following XCOM falling and the aliens taking over the world. And so I don't know if I should have said immediately following. I'm not really sure if this is, immediately following, or if it's a few weeks or a few months, or even if it's a couple years or a few years later after the XCOM base was infiltrated and taken over. But what we do know is that XCOM's been destroyed, Bradford survived, and he's now telling the stories about how he sort of begins to live on the lam, off the grid, because the aliens are taking over society. And then he sort of begins sort of a resistance on his own, and as he does so, he's, if I'm remembering all this right, we'll find out in the game. But as he does so, he comes across old XCOM members, and they start to kind of get the band all together again. And they're able to conduct higher level and harder hitting missions as they build this resistance. And that is all going to set the stage for XCOM 2. So yeah, that's where we're at. It's 15 to 20 years after the events of XCOM 1. The aliens are in charge, and Bradford is slowly starting to come across old team members and put together something that resembles, I guess, a real-world example might be like the French Resistance or something. So I think we'll leave it right there. That'll close out the intro episode. And I'm looking forward to getting this little story series up, because that's exactly what the Tactical Legacy expansion was designed for, was story input. So it's told from a story perspective, and it'll be a fun series to have up on the channel that explains the gap between XCOM 1 and XCOM 2. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thanks for visiting Aesop Grimm's Chronicles. If you've made it this far in the video, please consider rating, commenting, subscribing, and sharing. I hope to see you in the next episode, and until then, stay shiny.